mean Barack Obama's not black?
How is he black? Give me an example.
His father's black.
So that makes him black?
Yeah.
What about his mama?
His mother's white.
So that makes him black? Sit down real quick. Let me school you real quick.
Okay. We were both owning houses in a similar neighborhood, and I tried to sell my house, and you tried to sell your house. My house would statistically be valued higher than yours.
That's a theory.
Because I have lighter skin than you.
What house do you live in?
Because I have lighter skin than you.
According to who?
I'm sorry?
According to who?
The skin color, or?
If you were working at a bank and you were giving out loans, would you give out a loan to a white man and not a black man?
That's what redlining is.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are meeting me for the first time, my name is Clevy and it is so nice to meet you. Today we have another interesting video, and this is conservative black man destroys smug white liberal. Now we have in the left versus right argument going on. But anyways, you guys, let's dive right in.
Used to not always be conservative, or at least know that I was. Larry Elder hurt my feelings. He started saying all that truth. I was feeling some type of way. Oh, no, he can't be right. Dudes on the police department hurt my feelings because I was all over Barack Obama. That was my dog. Smart. He was black, even though he ain't black.
What do you mean he's not black?
What part? Hold on.
No. How do you mean Barack Obama's not black?
Okay.
How's he black? Give me an example.
His father's black.
So that makes him black?
Yeah.
What about his mama?
His mother's white.
So that makes him black? Sit down real quick. Let me school you real quick.
Okay, go ahead and school me.
Okay, is white supremacy, are you a white supremacist?
No.
Is white supremacy that says that a black man and a white woman together make a black kid? That is the purest idea of white supremacy. No, it's not.
That is not a racist.
Are you crying? Are you gonna cry? Please sit down.
We are not a racist country.
Please sit down.
The dominant social order says
because
white
supremacy says that. That's why you hold the truth to that.
That's the dominant social order
no,
of the country.
my son.
You said is not
listen,
racist.
Don't talk over me, please.
I'm sorry. It's your event. Go ahead and speak.
That's right. That's right. You're talking over a black man. Come on.
Okay.
With all due respect, okay? With all due respect, Barack Obama isn't black because he have a drop of black in him. My kids are not black. My wife is white. I'm black.
Okay.
They're biracial. They're not black. See, what happened in history is that if a black man or a white man or any other race had a drop of anything else, and it eliminated them from being pure white. It was called a one drop rule. If a white person had a baby with a black person, they did not want the white race to not be pure, so you defaulted to the other race. Today, they practice the same thing. What makes my son black? He is 50-50. He's half white, half black. There's no way that you call him black unless you want the white race to be pure. And I think that's what that is. 50-50 genes. That boy is 50-50. He don't have to walk around and say black. He don't have to walk around and say white. He's biracial. And it bothers me when people still hold that racist ideology. If a white person have a baby with a Hispanic person, that person is Hispanic. Why is that? Because the white race needs to be pure. It cannot have any fault. It cannot have any mixing. They used to call it back in the day race mixing. That's why we have racism today in some capacities, is because of that very reason. They want us to be divided.
Okay, let's quickly talk about this before we jump right into the part 2, because there is a part 2. Now, you guys, what ideology do you stand for? What do you think, and what do you believe? If a child is a product of black and white, right? Why do people ultimately say, I see that go around every single time. Why do people go out to say, oh, that's a black kid? Why can't it be that's a white kid? Do you understand? Like, why is it that immediately there is a mix within the race, you automatically attribute that child, to the other race and not white? Normally, I would think wherever the father is from, ultimately, that's where, the child is from. But then I saw that the mother is black, the father is white, but yet they still said the child is black. Why didn't he say that child is white? You guys, let's jump right into part two because I mean, it is too good. This conversation is too good not to have a part two. So let's go.
What color? What's your race?
I'm biracial.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
What did that mean?
Okay.
You just said that your son
Okay.
is biracial.
Okay.
What's your mix?
I'm Hispanic
And what?
and white.
Okay, so you go by white.
I go by mixed.
So why is Obama black then?
Do you
I'm
understand?
also Hispanic. I'm white and Hispanic. There's multitudes.
But you're mixed. You're not just Hispanic.
Let's get back to the
Would you
issue.
be the first Hispanic, whatever,
I mean,
if you want, if you feel like it?
whatsoever.
So are you Hispanic?
Can we get back to the?
No. Will you qualify for minority benefits?
So you said that the United
Would you
States.
qualify for minority benefits?
So no, because I'm not. No.
Why not?
Okay, so
You're Hispanic.
So you said that the United States is not a racist country. However, the dominant social order imposes that white has to be pure, which you acknowledge comes from the United States. Which is
You
not
are
a racist-
perpetuating that, not
Which is
me.
not a racist country, like you said.
Do you believe there's things in this country you can do that I can't do?
Yes.
Name it.
Statistically, if
No. You can do that I can't do.
Okay, let's go.
nothing, however, we kind of are dealing with lots of numbers and people. If we were both owning houses in a similar neighborhood and I tried to sell my house and you tried to sell your house, my house would statistically be valued higher than yours.
That's a theory.
Because I have lighter skin than you.
What house do you live in?
Because I have lighter skin than you.
How big is your house?
I don't. I'm sorry?
How big is your house?
I have no comments on that. That's a non sequitur.
It's not. Is your house bigger than mine?
If we had similar houses in a similar neighborhood.
Oh, he
both
said
had
similar, though.
houses,
He said similar.
statistically, My house would be valued higher than yours because you have darker skin than me.
According to who?
I'm sorry?
According to who?
The skin color or?
If you were working at a bank and you were giving out loans, would you give out a loan to a white man and not a black man?
That's what redlining is, you donuts.
All right, let me explain redlining.
Okay.
Let me explain redlining for you guys.
Okay.
I was trying to make a point there. It was kind of common. However, this is a really good book for you to read as well. Thomas Sowell wrote a book called Discrimination and Disparities, right? Just because there's disparity don't necessarily mean that there's discrimination. I can go down a list. Do you think that school districts are discriminating against men? No, they're not. Women just decide to work in schools more so than men do. Do you think that the NFL is discriminating against white men? No, it isn't. Just so happened that black people, athleticism plays a role in black people playing in sports in the NFL. That does not mean because there's a disparity that there's discrimination. Now, redlining. I did my research on redlining. There is no unequivocal proof that the reason why loans were given or not given is just because people were black. So in theory, this is pretty much what it's supposed to be. That certain areas in our country, banks would not allow or they would not give certain loans to certain areas, right? Because of multitude of reasons. Whether it's a dangerous area, they wouldn't give mortgages to dangerous areas that are run down, all of the above.
Okay.
And just so happened in some of these areas, they were minority areas. Now, people take that and say the banks were racist. But if you look at the institutions, the bank institutions, if they had higher qualifications or unrealistic qualifications for black people, unlike white people, then you would see that the rate of not being able to pay your loan, right? If the defaulting on your loan and different things like that, you will see it being higher amongst whites and not blacks if they had extra qualifications for blacks. And that's not what happened. Now, I don't know if it was racist or not. I don't believe that it was because I don't believe there's a correlation. Look at the black banks and look at the white banks. Black banks rejected black people at the same rate or higher than white banks did. Where's the correlation? You know, where's the outcry on that? And so moving forward, the idea from one side says that they only did this because they were black. On another side, they had ramifications for people not taking care of their communities, not having good credit and the like. So you have the two factions that have a difference of opinion. And you go to move forward and you say, how does redlining affect black people today? You know, I grew up in a black neighborhood.
Okay.
And many people who talk about this subject have never lived in a black neighborhood. It's not about redlining that I saw or anything that had anything to do with the government, the reason why black communities were suffering so much. It was culture and personal responsibility. There's no law that makes you not graduate from high school. That's a personal decision. There's no
Sure.
government law that thrusts you into selling drugs in your community. That's a personal decision. Unfortunately, black people, in my opinion, in these inner cities have adopted this culture that's destructive. And this has really no relevance. Now, let me give you an example of how I think that the overcorrection of what they call redlining, and this is what they do every time, caused the crash of the market. Because in, I guess, protest to redlining, they now gave non-discriminate loans to people who did not qualify. And what happened? We had a whole crash of the system. Black people were not defaulting on their loans at a higher rate than we've ever seen in history. And that's because they focus on race, and we should be focusing on results. If you don't have a high credit score, you should not be able to get a particular loan.
Sure.
There's a lot of other things that are factored into this. Larry Elder wrote a really good piece. Tommy Sowell obviously wrote a really good piece. They both are very similar in their thought process here. They don't answer a lot of questions that go along with the behaviors of different people, right? They go, well, they give loans to white people at a better interest rate than they give to black people. What they don't ask the question of is that, are they equal in their financial situation? If you look at statistical data, white people have 30% more savings than black people do. When you go to get a loan, if you know anything about loans, they look at how much liquid funds you have.
Yeah,
they look
sure,
at what you
true.
have in your savings. They look at how much money you make. And then you have to negotiate. Are black people negotiating to get a better interest rate? Or are they just taking the first thing that they get? All of these things are questions that need to be answered before you articulate that redlining is the problem and the banks are discriminating against black folks.
True. Shout out to Officer Tatum. Thank you so much. You guys, let us know your own thoughts and your own views. And as usual, you guys, the video starts from the comment section. So let's go. You would find me there. Goodbye.